Hello and welcome to all you Aquarians. This is your yearly horoscope for 2021. And wow, what an important year for the Aquarians. Absolutely. This is a general horoscope. So I'm not going to talk about Mercury retrogrades going on or whatnot, all these details. I'm going to talk about what the outer planets are doing and the nodes. And the fixed signs are really now getting a lot of change, and you are one of them. So, you together with the Leos, the Scorpios, and the Taurians, you are the four signs that are going to get the most of change. And of course, depending on your personal horoscope, but in general. And that is because the nodes have shifted into Gemini and Sagittarius. I will talk about that in a minute, but mostly for you that is important is the square between Saturn and Uranus, because it's happening as I said, in the fixed signs, and that means that key areas of your life can have a huge opportunity to change. And why is that? Now, because Uranus is all about, I want newness. I'm fed up with getting in a rut. I want liberty. I want freedom. I want new stuff. And Uranus is at the bottom of your horoscope, the fourth house, which is your emotions, which is literally your home life. So having Uranus there, most people find that transit of Uranus in the fourth house is a bit restless. It's chaotic because it's like the most secure part of your horoscope is getting the most chaotic planet transiting there. But the good thing, I think, for you Aquarians is that it does square up to Saturn in your sign, and that tempers it a little bit. So that makes it a bit less chaotic and more slow. So whenever we have and Uranus and Saturn in a square, it means we need both energies. It means no, we cannot just do the new and neglect the old. We have to consider the old as well. We cannot just do the old, same old, same old, same old, and not implement the new either, because that's not going to work either. And this is the key areas, all like your home, your roots, literally your home, but also your emotional security that is conflicting with your energy, Saturn in your sign, and also Jupiter in your sign. Talk about that in a minute. So what does it mean? It means that you are standing your ground and you are going slow, no matter what. And I think that's a good thing, because the fixed signs deal with this energy quite well, because the Saturn Uranus square, because the fixed is the name in it itself. It doesn't like change. But now there is the change with the Uranus, and Uranus is stronger than Saturn. It's further away, it's slower. So you're gonna have the changes for sure on the area of your life that has to do with home, that has to do with emotional security. Changes there for sure, but secured changes. You could say calculated risk here, or calculated changes that you're doing. That's the energy. As it is a square, it's a bit tension, it's a bit push and pull at the same time. So it's like, but it's very tangible. And Saturn in your first house, really, I've seen it over and over again, that people reinvent themselves. People reinvent themselves when Saturn crosses their ascendant. That happens only once every 30 years, so to speak. So it's a very important thing. It's like you maturing, but not in a rigid way, because of the square to Uranus. You are maturing, you know what you're doing, you're setting your boundaries, for sure. If you are that type of Aquarian, of that type of person that has had difficulties in relationships, first and foremost, in one-to-one relationships, in not having enough boundaries, you're gonna get them with Saturn in your first house. That is integrity. That is, look, don't go over this, I'm having my boundaries, and that helps to have a good relationship, a healthy relationship, that is. So if you have been having trouble in the past with that, this can indicate a more having boundaries with other people. And of course, that makes you restless, right? Or that can make that you have to, for instance, move, with Uranus in your fourth house. And of course, that Uranus opposes also your midheaven. So your work is involved here as well. You see how much, when these kind of things happen, that the whole horoscope is taken into motion. It's a very dynamic energy that you Aquarians are dealing with. But it means that it's necessary. It means that you're ready for it, and you've got the whole year. I mean, these clashes between Saturn and Uranus are going to happen 3 times throughout the year. 17th February, 14th, 15th of June, and 24th of December. So, but meanwhile, you feel this energy the whole year. And so a lot of Aquarians will find freedom in their emotions, which is nice, which is fantastic. They will find freedom at home. When I had, for instance, Uranus transiting my 4th house, I started to do astrology from home. So it's not always, that it's so, that you haven't got any feet under the ground anymore. It's doing something Uranus-like at home. So you could be doing something new, renovating and whatnot at home, but feeling a bit tired and restricted because of that. Saturn in the 1st house can be as simple as that, basically. But whatever it is, big shifts happening. You are lucky to not only having Saturn in your 1st house, but also Jupiter. So you will also, from January up till the midst of May, and then from August up until the end of the year, you're going to have Jupiter in your sign. That's great for expansion and for keeping up the spirit. That is great for not losing the spirit, because sometimes Saturn in your 1st house can be a bit hard, can be a bit rigid even, can be a bit too much responsibilities. But having Jupiter there, at the same time, you're feeling buoyant, you're feeling exploring, or you could, for instance, learn a new language, or doing something with people from, on an international level even. I know it sounds weird in these times, but anyway, or that has to do with travel, that has to do with knowledge, that has to do with learning, teaching. So you could be doing that more than ever. Now, Neptune is still in your 2nd house. This is the same as last year. So be careful with your resources. So be careful and have the feet on the ground when it comes to your finances. Also, your self-worth can sometimes be a bit like, where is it? And then you still have Pluto in the 12th house, just the same as last year. So again, big transformations happen even on an unconscious level. You're gonna have Mercury retrograde in your sign. So that's why I'm mentioning it in February. So that could be a very important time with you making those changes. After you had the 1st square of Saturn and Uranus in January, that in February you communicate the changes and you say, look, this is what it is. And last but not least, what I like for you is the shifting of the nodes. The North Node goes into Gemini. This trines your energy. And so the eclipses shouldn't be too hard for you. It is in your 5th house, most pleasant house. So it's house of, the North Node is where you need to go towards, where you need to focus on, and you're getting the biggest growth. The 5th house is self-expression. It's the house of play, it's the house of hobbies, it's the house of love, it's the house of sex, it's the house of babies, it's the house of children, it's the house of projects, it's the house of your building your own company, building your own baby, so to speak. Anyway, these are all very nice energies that the universe is saying, go towards that, whatever it is, whatever resonates. When you are single, this is a nice time to meet someone new. For sure, with the North Node in the 5th house, and they're in Gemini, it can be someone very clever, very witty, very enjoyable, fun. So with the North Node there, it's definitely an opening up of the heart chakra for sure. When you are in a relationship, it can mean, that you want to have more excitement, more playfulness, more romantic feelings there. It could be children involved as well. And it could also mean, exploring more towards certain hobbies, or a hobby can turn into a company. A hobby can turn into a company. But for love, it seems quite okay. It seems quite okay. Of course, a lot of, as I said, in existing relationships that you've been going over the top with the people pleasing, it can be a bit like, ugh. Yes, there could be breakups happening only when, of course, you need to see the personal horoscope for that. But really, when it's not been going well for a long while, and when you have given too much, this is can indicate a breakup, because of this Uranus in the fourth house, breaking away from where you live, on an emotional state, being a bit all over the place, because you want some boundaries, better boundaries for yourself. So it's not a bad thing ultimately. Anyway, this is for you Aquarians. I think very interesting year. I hope you will do well. I'm sure you will. Thank you for listening, and see you next time. Bye bye.